Good evening, everyone. Hope you're doing well. This is Joel, and I'm coming back at you guys with another video. So, with this video, I'm basically going to be talking about an important topic for me. Um, and this topic is related to watching the news. I'm basically going to go into detail as far as why I personally don't watch the news or follow the news, with that being the case. Um, I guess it's both like the news and politics, like together. Uh, and by news, I'm referring to, any news on like television, any media articles, like newspaper articles, things like that. First and foremost is with a lot of these media outlets. And I don't want to go down through like conspiracy lane or anything, but of course, a lot of these news outlets are owned by many of the same entities, right? And so, obviously, one way to control the masses is to, um, you know, c- control like the information that gets out, right? Decide on what information gets released. And if you notice that a lot of the news events are generally like negative events that happen to people or that are happening to different cities or countries like around the world. And it was like as I got older, of course you didn't think anything of it like growing up, but as I got older, right, that was something that I began noticing was like reoccurring. Like, why it's like every single time you try to get updated as far as like what's going on is always like a bad article or just some event that like doesn't that you just don't feel good about. And I started seeing how like that impacts other people around me, like even some close people in my life, right? Like they'll see an incident happen on TV, right? And then they'll first thing they think about is that same incident happening to themselves. And it'll just create doubt and worry, and they'll also be concerned about everyone else like in their lives about a certain, it can be like a super rare occurrence about something happening, that they'll just be concerned about because they've seen it happen to somebody else, right? And so they believe that it's a possibility that it'll happen to them. And I personally don't want to live life that way. Um, and this goes into my other reason. The other reason is that I just want to be able to control what I put into my mind. Um, I think it's important for us to filter what's actually important, right? And because our mind is always seeking information, always wants to learn, always wants to grow. And it's, of course, whatever you put into your mind is what, will ultimately impact your perspective on life. And obviously, like, will affect your thoughts and your beliefs. So for me, it's all about like, you know, being like a gatekeeper, right? Protecting what's important to me, and being able to turn my back on things that like I just don't agree with. And I guess my final point is with the news, right? Like I mentioned, a lot of the news articles and stories and everything that goes out are generally like negative stories, right? And you don't feel good either reading about them or watching it on TV. And me personally, I'm not really going to um put my attention to that, right? Like for me, I've grown so much as a person that it's super important for me to focus on my feelings and just my mood and how I'm doing, right? Like that's always priority number one for me to manage, like at all times throughout the day. And you know, the news don't help it, right? And that's usually the case. And from time to time there may be like that one rare instance of like a positive story, but in today's age, right, like drama and just like the tea, like just people love action, people love drama, people love like just the new story, right? And obviously that sells, the negativity sells. And those negativity is more common for that to go viral as opposed to like good things happening. So it explains why like media outlets are the way they are. But for me, it's just I'm at a point where I'm just looking to protect my energy. And so those are all the main reasons why I personally don't follow any news outlets or like pay attention to what's going on. Like my friends would say, "Hey, did you hear about this happening to such and such?" Or um, "Did you hear these two countries going at it?" Or like this happening in the world, and I'll be like, "No, I don't." Like, and it'll be like a truthful answer. And my friends would ask me, "Yo, bro, like, do you live on the rock? Like, what do you mean you don't know?" And I'm just, it's funny because it is true. Like, I choose to do that, but it's also because like when you think about it, so many of those incidents that we can think are like major, which in the grand scheme of things, I guess they are. But had we not had that news outlet or that article or whatever it is tell us about that story, we wouldn't even know it existed, right? Like back then, before social media, before all these like platforms, if something was happening on the other side of the world, we wouldn't even know about it. We probably wouldn't even hear about it. And so, for a lot of people, it's like they want to be informed, but it's at the expense of their own sanity, right? Like, because people can be so educated and be so informed about learning what's going on around the world, but then it also feels like they have the weight of the world on their shoulders because they feel like the world is a bad place, or like it's unsafe, like all these like negative perceptions and just beliefs as far as what's going on. I choose to not have that belief, right? I choose to believe differently. Like I believe that we live in a friendly world, a friendly universe where there's a lot of good people, a lot of great people, amazing people on the planet with great intentions. And I genuinely believe that like the average person is trying to do their best to live a fulfilling life. And I think that's the goal for everyone. Like we just all want to be here to be happy and have fun and enjoy this experience and existence while we're here. So that's why I steer clear from all that. And that's why I choose to just focus on what I have going on here in my life and in the lives of like my family members and the people that are close to me, because those are the people that are important. And I want to make sure they're doing well and they're on the right track, and I don't want them to be sidetracked by just have their perspective of the world skewed in a negative light at the expense of just trying to be informed as far as like what's been going on. So for me, it's always felt therapeutic and more relaxing and more at peace to have inner peace, right? And to not let other people's problems or the world's problems be your own. You get me? Like most of us already have enough going on with our own lives. And so for me, it's just stepping away from that allows me to focus more on my peace personally, but also just focus on what I have in front of me and what I want to do and build and grow here, as opposed to like seeing everything that's bad in my city, state, country, and world. So just wanted this to be a pretty short video, just straight to the point, explaining that. Now, hopefully, if anyone that knows me seen this video, they'll know why I've been living on the rock. But I actually prefer being here because I think everyone, when you've gotten to the point where you have your own inner peace, right, and you just feel great, like life is good, like you're waking up excited, right, like you realize that that's priceless, and you realize that that's one of the most important things you can have, right? So for me, it's all about just filtering out like things that are in your life, filtering, if it's good for you, then keep it in. But if it's something that makes you feel bad, or you feel like it's just bringing negativity into your life, being able to filter that out and just focusing on the good things, and only surrounding yourself with positive energy and great things, because that all shapes your perspective. So just wanted to leave this here for you guys. As far as like social media, I don't really use, and I used to be more heavy on social media, but now I'm pretty much just on YouTube for obvious reasons, right? I'm recording this video, but aside from that, I'm pretty much don't really use like other forms of social media, so it's the same way. So just been like Patrick Star under a rock, and I'm perfectly fine with that. So hopefully this video at least had a few gems. Hopefully if you're someone who actively follows the news, or like even the case with like politics, right? Because I'll probably do a separate video with that, but in short, it's just like politics is pretty much just a never-ending battle, right? Of just painting the other party as the enemy to get people angry enough to like go out and take action and vote and do all these things. And even when a few years back, when I began following politics, heavier, and began to see who were like the people like the senators, the politicians, things like that, it began clear that that's sort of what it was, and I realized that that wasn't in alignment with my beliefs and who I am as a person and all those things, right? Like I want to be someone who's just a beacon of light for other people and just spread positivity. And, I just want to live my life happy and just not really have any worries or concerns. And some people say that's like far fetched because it's like, well, everyone has worries, everyone has problems, everyone has concerns. It's like, well, uh, to some degree that may be true, but life is all about perspective. So it's like those, you don't have to label things as like problems or concerns, right? It's like those are just situations, and everything's gonna be fine in the end. Everything's gonna work itself out. So I don't need to worry myself with like any of those items. Uh, so yeah, just tying it back to news. Um, yeah, I used to be like heavy with like reading news articles and watching the news, but I haven't seen the news or like watch articles. Or sorry, I haven't seen the news or read articles online. Usually, I'll just, if it pops up, I'll just sort of get rid of it. And if it's something that someone sends me, or like if someone is talking to me, like I'm having a conversation with someone about an event, I'll, just most likely I haven't heard of the event, so I'll just be like, oh yeah, sure, like I'll just kind of like have that dialogue with them, but then I'll just like keep it pushing, right? Because I don't find it to be like important unless it's like an actual great news event, like something great happened to someone, and then I get excited, like, because that's in alignment with my beliefs as far as like what I think about people and like the world as a whole. But if it's like what we deem to be a negative story, or like that people can be worried about where the direction of the world and humanity and things like that, I choose to believe that this is still like a friendly place, a friendly universe, that good things happen to people all the time, and there's great people on the planet. And I think that we're doing a good job pushing things forward. So I'm just gonna focus on the positivity, and so that's why I stick to just reading certain books and listening to audios as opposed to like getting my information from the news. So been under a rock for a while now, and I love it here. So this pretty much sums up the video for why I don't watch the news, whether it's on TV, whether it's news articles, whether it's things that pop up on your phone, or if friends send you things. Like I just personally try to avoid it all. And if it's an in-person conversation with someone, then I'll just have that dialogue. But I'll personally like brush it off or just keep it pushing. I wouldn't pay no mind to it, just because more time than not, it's negative, it's drama, is whatever to get the attention of people. I understand that in this day and age, attention is currency. So I personally steer clear from all of that, because my goal, first and foremost, is always to protect my energy and my perspective and beliefs of the world, where I do believe this is a great place to be, and there's a lot of amazing people who have other people's best interests in mind. So that's not the video. If you enjoyed this video, do leave a like, subscribe, comment down below if you have any questions or comments. Honestly, if you guys have even ideas for other topics for me to talk about, I love talking about different things like this. So and I'll definitely be posting more videos as far as like other topics that come to mind, things that I've wanted to get off my chest, things that I wanted to like share with other people. So if you found this helpful, once again, do leave a like, subscribe, comment down below any thoughts you may have, any topics you think will be beneficial. Do share this video with anyone you think would find this helpful, because I do want to help the general public. For me, it's super important for me to be honest and genuine, and understand that there may be people who's struggling, or just basically may feel as though they're in a place where they don't want to be, or that they want to move towards like a more happier, more positive life and perspective, and just overall experience in general. And so even a video like this could help someone. So I would greatly appreciate if you share this video with anyone who you think would find this helpful. And don't forget to turn on post notifications, because I will be posting more content in the near future. So I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, it's Joel, and I'm out. Peace.